Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Deja. So today our video is a little bit different. I am going to be showing you guys my makeup palette collection. Yes. Now my sister LQ told me that I should do this. I feel like she don't want me to do this so she can judge me and be like, but girl, you got more makeup palettes than I do. T, okay? So anyway, y'all, let's just go ahead and let's get started. All right, I'm trying to figure out how the best way to go about it. I really don't have as many, so let me just go ahead and, well, I have a lot, but not as many. Yeah, it's not that bad, girl. So the first palette is from Morphe, and this is the 350. It looks like this. Pretty much a new color palette. It's so beautiful. I haven't touched this in a long time because you can pretty much find all these shades in just about every palette nowadays. So, but it's still a very nice palette to have if you want to just create a very soft neutral look. So she's staying. All these are staying, y'all. Like, the next palette that I have is the Morphe 35B, and it looks like this. So full of colors. Like, these colors in this palette are so pigmented. I haven't even touched. There's some colors in here that I haven't touched. Y'all, I can't help it, but you know what? But I can definitely say the pigment in this palette is definitely there. So that's why I decided to get. I was like, you know, it's full of color. I have a bunch of neutral color palettes, so why not get one that's all color? There we go. My Very Dirty Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. This was a hot commodity when it first came out. The color story on this palette is just so beautiful. You have color if you want to do some color, you have your neutral tones, you have your warm tones and everything. So you got neutral tones on top, but you got your warm tones and stuff. So I pretty much stick to this area here. I have used the colors over here a little bit, but not too often. But this over here is my zone. So that's that one. And the last palette that I have from Morphe, of course, is the Morphe and James Charles palette. The artistry, this thing is huge. You have every color that you could possibly need in this palette. So it really is, you know, serves as an all-purpose palette. So I love this. The next palette that I'm going to show you guys is one that I have not touched very often, and it is the Pinky Rose Cosmetics Bright Lights palette. It looks like this. The colors are amazing in here, and honestly I need to get really good with like utilizing color more and not just always going. I really put my phone on silent and not just using, you know, like browns and like deep colors. So this has a few loose glitters in here, which I think is amazing. But yeah, this is a very, very pretty palette. Next one that I have is just a small palette. This was the Desi X Katie and Dose of Colors collaboration. Just a 4-pan palette, and 2 of these shadows you actually use with your fingers. But I believe it might be these 2, I think, on the bottom, and the pigment just like pretty much explodes. But I've used this quite a bit. You can see like I've been rubbing my hand and everything in there. But you know, using your hand for shimmers and stuff is like the best way to really get the color to pop. So I still love that. Next one that I have is the Melt Brush Stack. When this first came out, we couldn't afford it. I remember my sister and I talking about getting this, and it was just too much money. But you guys, yeah, they are magnetic stacks that just clamp together like that. And of course, these 2, Rot and Rust. This is Rot, this is Rust. My favorite 2. It's just so warm and so pretty, and the pigment on this thing is amazing. So this is the only palette, I guess you can call it, or stack that I have from Melt Cosmetics. Let's move into some drugstore palettes that I have. So I have 2 of the City Minis by Maybelline. This is the collaboration with Makeup Shayla. I think it was her very first palette, actually. It looks like this. And you know, my sister and I were huge fans of Makeup Shayla back then, still like her and everything today, but it's like, okay, we wanted to support her and make sure that we get her palette, and this is really pretty. This is something, of course, it's very compact. You can put it in your purse and take it and do your makeup on the fly, as well as this one. This one is not in a collaboration with anyone, but when I saw it, I was like, I like the greens, and I did not have many greens in my collection. And if y'all know, I did a video not too long ago that I'm not a huge fan of green eyeshadow, but it's growing on me slowly. I'm starting to come around. So yeah. And then this next one I have never used before. It's by Revlon, and I think I got this from during Christmas. What game are we playing? Oh yeah, I got this from Christmas. We had a little Christmas party, and then this was in my gift bag. So I haven't used it yet, but I'll crack it open one day. Like, it's just 4 little colors, very compact. Take it, do your makeup on the fly if need be. So now I'm gonna move into ColourPop. So the first 2 palettes that I'm gonna show you is the collaboration with Karen I Love Side E. It's the Saucy. This is the Saucy palette. Looks like this, and then you have the Cheeky palette, which looks like this. I would say, of course I dig more into this one, but you know what? I think my favorite shadow out here is this one right here. Is Freckles, this metallic shade. Y'all, it is so beautiful when you swatch it or when you put it on your lid. Love that. And then these mauve, deep purple and stuff, well, plum purple, whatever you want to call them and stuff, are really pretty, but I haven't touched this one as much as I've touched the Cheeky palette. Next palette I'm going to show you is the ColourPop and Karrueche collaboration. It's the Rosa palette. Very pretty rose tones, and you got some purples and stuff in there. I've used this a few times, but actually no, I'm sorry, this palette is called She. But anyway, yeah, I've used it a few times. The pigments are definitely popping, but I don't know, I don't gravitate towards it as much, probably because I need something a little bit deeper. These are the 2 deepest colors in the palette, and I like to have, you know, brown or black or something in my crease to really add that depth. So alright, and the last palette that I have from ColourPop is the Perception palette, and this is in collaboration with Makeup Shayla. I actually just did a look with this palette the other day, and this palette is beautiful, you guys. I mean, get myself out of the way so y'all can see it. This shade right here, Stallion, is like black with flecks of blue in it. So pretty. I love it. And Played Out I always gravitate towards, and Revenge, of course. But this palette is lit. You guys know that ColourPop's palettes are very inexpensive, so are all the other items on their site. You know, the concealers, the foundation, lipsticks, oh, very affordable. So now I'm going to go ahead and move into my Anastasia Beverly Hills collection, and I only have 2 palettes, and of course one of them is the Reese collaboration. I had to get it. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, I'm not getting it, and then I looked at it again and I was like, yeah, I am. I'm getting it. Leo, the color Leo, that blue in there stands out. I haven't used it very much, but you guys, this palette is lit. The color story is beautiful. Like, I love this. The second palette, of course, is the collaboration with none other than Miss Jackie Aina. Love Jackie, had to support her, hands down. This palette I've used quite a bit, and credit, like, I feel like I'm gonna touch pan pretty much with credit. Like, I be going in, like, that's my jam right there. So I hope that I don't hit pan though, because it would suck if I hit pan on like one shadow in a palette, and then it's like I want to buy a whole new palette just so they can be full, but I ain't gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that, y'all. I won't. You guys, moving on, next is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. Now you guys, first of all, Huda has the most insane pigment out there. Like, this is my one and only palette from her. So like, I haven't touched Fresh Cream. So when I was like, okay, you know, let me see how it is, it was like $40 something, I believe, when I got it. And her palettes can be pretty pricey. They have a nice size mirror and everything in them, but this palette right here is lit. But I haven't touched only one shade in here. Yeah, just one shadow in here that I haven't touched, and that's Desert Sand, of course, because what am I gonna do with that? Moving on, I have this collaboration with Moschino and Sephora, and look at the teddy bear, it was so cute. I thought the design of this palette was so cute. Look how huge the mirror is, and then look how beautiful the colors are. Now I can say with this, some of the shadows are more pigmented than others, especially with the matte shades. So I have used it a few times to create a look, but I just wasn't impressed with some of the shades that were in there. Like, they were lacking pigment. I also have another one of these that's like just for show, so y'all might see that in the background or something one day when I decide to do more with decorating my place. Now this palette right here, Take Me Back to Brazil by BH Cosmetics. I remember this was one of the I would say one of the top 10 that I first bought when I first got into makeup. And I remember I saw an ad for it on Facebook and I was like, this is a really pretty palette. Of course it's all colors, and you got, you know, black down here. If I'm not mistaken, one of these is supposed to be a highlighter, but it's a very sheer highlighter. But my favorite shadow in this palette is definitely this blue right here. Like, I'd be going in on this blue or this turquoise when I want to create a look with color. I be going in. So yeah, I haven't touched it too much, but that turquoise I have. All right, you guys, so next palette that I have is the Revolution and Tammy, the Tropical Carnival palette. And this was, I think, the first palette that she had with them, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like, I just wanted to support Tammy. Like, I loved watching her YouTube videos, I still do. And when she had this collaboration, I was like, okay, I must. Like, it is very pretty. Pigment is there. And I just wish it had, instead of just a black, like maybe a dark brown or something. But anyway, girl, we can't always have it all. And I wish that this palette had the names on the bottom of like the pants, because looking at the back, I would get confused. You guys can see, I would get confused as to which name lined up with the pen, because I think sometimes they be backwards and stuff. And yeah, I just wish that the names were on the inside, but it is what it is. So this, I mean, the Paradise Glow, you can use it as a nice shadow. It has a blush in here, some contour shades and everything, and it has a highlighter. Girl, you can use this as a nice shadow palette. Like, you can create a cute little beat with this. One day we gonna do that, just saying. I had to get the palette, of course, to go with it. When I saw this, I knew immediately that I wanted it. You guys, I got the whole set. So the palette, the glow kit, and then the lip kit as well. Look how gorgeous this is. Like, and it was only $55 for the whole thing, and I definitely think it was worth it, and I don't regret this buy at all. Moving to some Juvia's Place palettes now. The Nubian, this is also in my top 10 of palettes that I first bought. And I remember seeing this and I was like, okay, I think it was like around 20 something dollars. And didn't know much about makeup, but it was a very nice beginner friendly palette, so that's why I got it. And I've played with this a lot, I really have. So I got my money's worth out of it. I can still use the shimmers and stuff. I need to try this, since we gonna start breaking out the old palettes, y'all. The next palette that I have is the Zulu by Juvia's, and it looks like this. I really like the colors in this palette. Like, you know, it's crazy when I started off with the Morphe, it's like, okay, this is really my only color palette that I have. And then I have all of these other ones. Juvia's Place, you guys know Juvia's Place has some of the most lit pigments out there. So, and they're super affordable. Can't go wrong with that. Next is the Warrior 2 by Juvia's. Oh. And with this palette, like, I was not convinced to get it at first. And then my sister bought it and she was like, no. She was like, B, remember how we said that we did not really like this palette? We didn't think it was good at all. She was like, no, you need to get it. So she told me I need to get it, and so I went and got it, and I do like the palette, y'all. What can I say? Next is the Masquerade by Juvia's. It's like you pretty much just have it all. I think my favorite shadow in here is Cairo, and it's like this burnt orange with like flecks of gold in it. I really do love that color right there, so I've used that quite a bit. Let's go into another favorite of mine. This is the Box of Crayons eyeshadow palette. Now, crazily, I have not played with this as much. And actually, today, as I'm recording this video, I just swatched the shimmers in here today. And this is the only one that I'm having a little bit of trouble with. It's a little bit dry, but everything else is still very pigmented. You guys, like, you get this huge mirror. I'm gonna try not to blind you guys, but huge mirror up there. But yeah, it's just your classic box of crayons, like, and they're going to color here for us to use and beat our faces with, so can't go wrong with that. Next, I am going to go ahead and move into my Color Rain stash. So I have the Color Rain and Power collaboration. This is pretty much all purples and like mauves in this palette, and it is so beautiful. I tried to film another look with this the other night and it didn't come out how I wanted to, so I'm gonna have to try to recreate it until I get it right. But yes, you have 9 shadows in here. You get really creative with your purples. So yeah, this is no longer, let's discontinue. It was limited edition, so I had to get my hands on that. The next one is the Vivid Pigments in Shadows palette. This one is pretty new to my collection. I've only used it one time, but y'all, pigment, give it to me, pigment. No, the only thing, like I said, there's not really dark shades in here to like add a lot of depth, so I do have to go into other palettes to get that. But y'all, you want something with pigment galore, get this, okay? All right, you guys, we're actually down to my last palette, and this is one of my top 5 favorites. I didn't even talk about the other ones that were in my top 5, but it's the Color Rain Queen of Hearts. And you guys, the Queen of Hearts, so beautiful. You can create so many bomb looks with this, and I would buy this palette all over again. Honestly, I really would. It is just that gorgeous. So that's it for my collection, you guys. Let me know in the comment box down below if you guys have any of these palettes, and also if you guys are going to film your makeup palette collection so we can see what y'all got. And if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.